Start with the good. The good, the guys are on the last cornfield. That's awesome. The not so good, this right here is supposed to have kind of another shaft or stub pointing out like that, and if you notice, it's missing one. Earlier tonight, the guy called me. He's like, "Hey, I think I just broke a shaft. I think I just broke a U-joint on the Steiger or the ripping tractor." And I'm like, "Okay." Well, actually, they did a really good job. They got it out, and I showed up there, and we kind of, they basically had it out by the time I got there, so it's kind of nice. But tomorrow, luckily, I think I can get this to cross. There's a part number on here, and I think I can get that to cross. But tomorrow, I got to go track down some parts. We'll see how all of that goes. Well, typical late fall, early winter Minnesota stuff. Sitting here letting the old truck warm up so the windows defrost. A couple weeks back, we put a heater core in this truck, and this is kind of the reason we put the heater core in, is so we had defrost. Makes a big difference. But this old truck's just too much fun not to drive. Happy Saturday morning. It is gorgeous outside for being tail end of November. We got to go on a parts run. If you 8:30ish in the morning, I've already been on the phone with a number of different places trying to track one down. We're dealing with a 1982 Steiger KM 1325 Panther, and so it's old. That's the simple way to put it. It's old, and the part number off the U-joint is no longer valid. All right, so that's the bad news. But the good news is we already got one tracked down. A lot of Steiger stuff was old semi stuff, so I actually called a shop up in the cities called Fleet Pride. They were great, but they explained to me that the 82 in the number was the series, the 82N was the series of U-joint, and after that they couldn't cross the part number anymore. But they told me if I brought it up there, we could they could try and match it up, see if they have one. Then I called Case, and I know some people will be like, "Why didn't you call Case first?" Well, Case is a little more expensive on their parts than they want to admit sometimes. Yeah, we just won't say that. But we'll think it. Okay, so I did call Case, and they're not too bad. They had them for about $200. The only downside is my local Case dealer here in town didn't have them, and so I got to run down to another town called Casson, and we're going to see if they got them. Minnesota Ag Group's inventory showed that they had 6 of them, so I'm hoping when we get down there, they got them and we can get it and put tractor together and make it go across the field again. But yeah, last night when this all happened, I brought the tractor to a screeching halt. So right now I got a tractor with a ripper behind it just sitting in the field. Well, gotta love it. All right, I'm gonna grab the old one just so we got something as a reference point, and I am gonna go on a parts run. This is one of those days where it's like, oh, what? Go for a nice leisurely drive to pick up parts? Oh, I guess I'll do it if no one else wants to do it. Kind of fun. The other thing that's kind of fun as we get later into November here, I know eventually the snow's going to fly, and when the snow flies, that means Rado and the other cool old fun classic vehicles get put away. But for today, that's our chariot of choice. So we are going to Case. Well, the morning is going very well. I got Case here right now, and just got our parts, and they had everything. I measured up all the bolt holes. I actually took the old one in with me, and everything looks the same. And I'm just headed back to the farm now, see if we can't get this put back together. But I was cruising behind the dealer. Okay, when you are kind of a little bit of a mechanic and a parts guy and all that stuff, it's always fun to go drive behind the dealerships and see what kind of crazy things are going on. And it was funny because I roll in here and here's a much newer Case tractor, and the front wheel, you can tell something broke because the wheels kicked in, and I seen that and I'm like, oh no, someone had a bad day. But yeah, headed back home. Okay, so this is kind of funny. I should have texted my dad ahead of time. I came out to his little project here to bring him some lunch. Oh, he's already gone, so that means I probably went home for lunch, which that's okay. But earlier in the day, his 2 grandkids driving that tractor and little scraper, and oh, this is kind of cool. So I know it made his day, but kind of neat coming out here. You're seeing some of the forward progress he's made. What he's doing here, we got the tile line in earlier, and he is building a berm to catch water to keep the field from eroding. And we've done a couple of these over the years, and actually quite a few. And it's always amazing. It makes a big difference on soil erosion. But yeah, it's just more work, right? Right there is where the U-joint failed on the green Steiger. And it's kind of sad seeing it sitting out there, but we're gonna go switch trucks, grab my service truck, and go start putting the new ones in. Kind of a cool feeling. And then we can get it out of the middle of the field. Hey, look at that. Me and you are back in a pickup cab. The only difference is we're next to a piece of equipment that neither one of us broke.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's rare.
All good news though. You were on the farm side of things. You just wrapped that up. We got both semis and combine back here. They're ready to get cleaned up. I had to run to Case, so second trip today to a Case IH dealer. Had to get new bolts. Kind of funny. I don't like throwing anyone under the bus because the guy that helped me was awesome. We got 2 U-joints and I asked for new bolts. He gave me these and the thread pitch isn't the same. And as soon as I pulled out the new ones, I remember looking at them going, oh, that didn't look right, but he looked them up in the book. And then you can see it there, it's a little bent. This is what I pulled out. Yeah, kind of cool, huh? Like we did it well, like go Dean, go. And so hence, second trip to town, get more bolts. So now we're gonna try and put it all back together. See how this goes, huh? It's just kind of funny because like you can tell like everybody's kind of out of gas, aren't they? Yeah. This is where I was Thursday. All right, let's see if we can't get Steiger rolling. How far do you think? Now we've done spreader tires in the past, and I know we usually push them down 4 to 6 inches. So we'll see how far we push these blocks down. There is an incredibly deep gouge in this drive shaft. I can't believe I didn't see that earlier, but wow. Yeah. The question is, do we have Dean try ripping? Like, how horrible can it be? It's going to be low speed.
Yeah.
I feel like we should try it.
Maybe. A lot of torque, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Low speed, but torque.
Well, we lift the riffer up now. It should take less.
Yeah. Something
like that. Wow, we like flush mounted that block.
Yeah, I was wondering how we're gonna get that out.
Shovel.
Use the ripper. Just rip through it.
That one's about as big as this one.
Yeah, so farther than you thought.
Well, kind of halfway to China.
Yeah. It's in there.
Yeah.
I think just take the ripper through it.
We'll worry about that later.
Yeah.
Main thing, we got our U-joint in.
Exactly.
And we're walking away with everything safe, or all of our fingers and toes.
Yep.
It is a little spooky when you're playing around with jacks and blocks and field dirt.
Yep. Yep. Good combo.
Oh, wow.
Maybe.
That like never happened. Oh.
Wow. Jeez.
That's a hole.
Yeah, that's a crater there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Heck yeah. Well, it's times like that you're like, what up, God? Thank you. Ugh. All right, so that's kind of cool. We got Steiger going across the field. So what started off as a big drama last night, we broke a U-joint and got U-joints. Then we found out some other interesting news. We have a gigantic dent in the drive shaft. And we were going back and forth. Dean's in the ripper, and Dean's been around for a number of years, 15, 20, something like that. And Dean's an old construction guy, ran every piece of equipment under the sun that's like cat yellow, and then driven a bunch of trucks. And so both me, my dad, and Dean were trying to figure out, hey, do we try it with this dented drive shaft? Do we just try to get through this year? Kind of our conclusion was, hey, it's low speed, maybe it'll be all right. And Dean's going back and forth right now, and he just told me, he said, hey, everything's good, no vibration. But can you see if you can't get the heater working? We got it working. And then I also have, it's kind of funny, I don't know how this works, but these two lights on this fender weren't working, and I just wiggled the harness and they popped on, and we're calling it good for the night. We're ending the night in rock star status, and it is just really cool seeing him go across the field right now.